Welcome, my name is Jeff Stauffer, Executive Director of the Elville Center for the Creative Arts, coming to you today from the Elville Creative Studios in Annapolis, home of Greencrest Productions, LLC. We're here today for the next in our series of interviews between the Elville Center and our fine charity partners. Today I'm pleased to welcome Dr. Max VanDerbeek, music teacher in the Performing Visual Arts program and Liberal Arts programs at Wiley H. Bates Middle School here in Annapolis. He is also a professional jazz performer. And just about an hour ago, I learned that you have performed in front of 2 presidents. Is that correct?
Thank you. Yes, I got to play in the 90s for President Bush at the time, and this was in Florida, and I played with the Florida International University Jazz Band, so we were like the music for a big event. And so it wasn't like he was right at arm's reach, but he was there in the ballroom, and I was very honored to perform for him.
So can you give me a little bit of background about yourself in general? What brought about your love of music and teaching?
Thank you so much. Well, I'm honored to be here, and I can remember as a child, my father would take out pots and pans, and we would play just a little jam on the pots and pans together. And I really didn't get involved with organized school music until really at the start of high school. And I relocated from New York. I grew up in a really interesting community outside of New York City. It was like an arts community, And so then when I was in 11th grade, I moved to Columbia, Maryland. My father got a position teaching film at UMBC. He was a filmmaker. And so that really propelled me when I moved to a new school. I went to Wild Lake High School in Columbia, and the band teacher there, John Buzz Jones, was very inspiring for me. And all of a sudden, it was just like something I had to do. I had to go home and play music and play percussion. It was like just a switch went on. And then I went to UMBC for a while, and then I transferred up to a college in New York, and really I was a percussion major and then later a music education major. So when you study music in college, you're usually either a performance major or a music education major. And so I loved both and eventually got more into music education.
That's great. Well, Max, talk to me a little bit about Bates Middle School and its students and what makes it such a special place to you.
Thank you very much. I was hired at Bates Middle School about 6 years ago, and it was a real visionary artist that started the PVA program. I don't know if you're aware of Anne Arundel County Schools, began the PVA program about maybe 7 or 8 years ago. Bates Middle is a really unique environment. Anne Arundel County Schools targeted Bates. They wanted to infuse it with the arts and really give it even more of a chance to succeed. So there had been some struggles with Bates prior to the PVA program, and anybody who does a little research into Anne Arundel schools would know that Bates has some challenges. And with the Arts Magnet program, it really helped balance the program there, I would say. And it brought in a lot of people because kids bussed from around the county to come in there. So kids who were really excited about their studies and music and the arts came to that building.
So, music educators can really, be an important influence. All educators can be such an important influence in students' lives. So, I certainly commend you for the work that you do. So,
and there's some students at my school that music is like their home. Music is the place that, I think sometimes, and I remember this a little bit for me, Jeff, I would go to a certain class, I'd say, darn, I'm not very good at this. And then I'd go to another class and, I'm okay, but, and then I'd go to music, and I see that now that there's some classes where the kids who are not very successful in other classes for various reasons, that is where they shine, And they talk about how we have multiple intelligences, right? It was Howard Gardner's theory of, if you rewind 50 years, they thought you were either smart or you weren't. But now they realize that you can be very smart in movement, kinesthetic. You can be very smart in mathematical or music. You have different intelligences. So that's part of the goal of a teacher, is to find those, those strengths.
Interesting. Well, I've come to a few of your concerts over the years, and I can just see the appreciation for music that you infuse in the music students at Bates, and how much they enjoy having you as their leader, and it's just wonderful to see.
Thank you. And maybe you've heard that quote that nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. So I certainly have a lot of weak sides to my teaching, but I would say one of the stronger points is that I do care for the students, and that opens up some doors. And
it certainly shows.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And then equipment-wise, we're very, very lucky at Bates to have met Elville Associates and Steve Elville and Jeff Stauffer. And I guess this is a good time to interject a story that I was driving home, listening to WBJC, which is the classical station, and I was just actually wondering about how I was going to try to get some better equipment for my band students, because some of the equipment needed to be refurbished, and kids like to have a shiny, newer instrument that motivates them a lot. So I was listening to the radio station, and I heard a public service announcement about Elville Associates providing instruments to school programs, new and refurbished instruments, and I couldn't believe it. I pulled over, I took my cell phone out, and I called them right away. It was about 7:30 in the morning, and Jeff answered. And right away, it's been an amazing partnership for us, and a very benevolent organization to this county and to our Bates Middle School. And so that ties back into your question of how to improve things in school music, is instruments and better quality instruments. And I'm not in any way knocking our music office, at the school board. They really work hard. Our supervisor, David Kaufman, and he is really working hard for all of us and does some amazing things and does provide instruments. And but it's really nice to have the Elville special support.
It's been a great partnership ever since. Can you expand a little bit on our partnership that we've developed over the last few years?
Well, it's one thing, a lot of people have a clarinet in their basement or in their attic, or they have a flute, but Elville does an unbelievable job of not only getting that clarinet donated perhaps to Elville, or I'm not certain of their sources, but they then have them refurbished, and that can be hundreds of dollars. Sometimes the cost to refurbish a flute is more than the flute itself. And so that's where Elville really goes the extra distance. Honestly, if Jeff said, I have some clarinets, and he handed them to me, it's really hit or miss. Sometimes it's like, this needs all new pads, and it's going to be $280 or $320, and some point my supervisor really won't pay for that. It's not that cost effective, and not that we would turn that donation away, but it makes it much more muddled. But Elville has the instrument donated, they have them professionally refurbished, and when they hand them to our school and our students, they are really play well. And so not only that, but Elville, if I may say, helps provide some funding for a guest artist every month. The job I have, I really need some helpers, some adult helpers, and so I am able to find some volunteers, but Elville Associates helps pay for a guest artist every month, and that's really fantastic. In addition to if you play a wind instrument, you know that you need reeds for the clarinet or for the saxophone, and Elville will help with those expenses too.
We're very blessed to be working with people like you, and it makes it easy to want to support organizations like you when there's people like you behind behind the music. So,
well, on behalf of many students at Bates and beyond, and other schools, and thank you very much. And
no, it's our pleasure.
Thank you for choosing the creative arts.
Thanks for all you do for your students in the community.
Thank you.
And we appreciate your partnership with the Elville Center for the Creative Arts.
It's only the beginning.
Oh yeah, it was. If people want to get in touch with you for any reason to learn more about Bates Middle School, its programs, and yourself, how could people get in touch with you?
Yeah, and also I have a professional jazz group that will play, will donate our services occasionally for certain events, community events and things, and of course we can also be hired. But you can contact me at my personal email, maxbeat, like a drum beat, B-E-A-T. So that's M-A-X-B-E-A-T, maxbeat@comcast.net. That's a good way to reach me, Jeff.
Very good. Well, thank you.
I hope this is the start of more conversations.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we look forward to that. So to learn more about the Elville Center for the Creative Arts, or to donate, or how we can help support your school, contact me, Jeff Stauffer, Executive Director at the Elville Center for the Creative Arts, at 443-676-9691, or by email at jeff@elvillecenter.org, or you can reach us on the web at www.elvillecenter.org. Thank you very much.